because otherwise it sort of comes across as boom, dum, dum. It's all strong, and it will be even stronger and have a better effect if you actually like sweep into it from somewhere rather than just starting it at the same level. So that's one thing. When the dynamic contrast is very good, and generally the balance, you always have to be a little bit careful on a Steinway D because the bass is so much more than you're used to. So that becomes a problem on this piano, but it wouldn't be a problem in the studio or in the practice room or anything else. But it's something that your ear has to listen for. You can't play in the same way on every piano. You have to listen all the time. So generally speaking, dynamic contrast is very good, and sometimes on this piano the balance is a bit of an issue. Whenever you get to the main theme, we need to hear the top of that sometimes gets clouded by bass. I need to have that really crisp. And the points where we talked about before, when you come down to the F, it needs to somehow come into it without appearing like, where did all the sound go? You know, it's like you don't want it to be you want to actually set it up so that it's actually smooth. But anyway, we're going to try a couple of these things. The clarity is like, if I was to say there are two things that we need to like concentrate on here. It's the clarity, meaning the balance, and then starting your gestures less so that you can actually feel like there's a sweep upwards of it. And the same spot that I always tell you before this, whatever that is, this same spot that I always tell you about, where the B flat minor followed by the scale. You need to make sure that you get to the scale sooner so that it feels like it's also one big gesture. It would be great if that was like dum rather than dum. I don't know. It's a personal decision and it's personal taste, but you can make everything seem like it's more part of a bigger gesture if you can actually get there sooner and start there less. So that's starting less every time you have to swoop into something. It's like, I think it's a good addition to it. Can we do it again from the beginning? Okay, that's good. Do you remember we said before that before you play that first chord, you're going to feel like you're crescendoing towards it, and then you arrive at it rather than, okay, boom. You know what I mean? So feel like you're part of a big crescendo and you're joining in. Which is like, it can be a tendency if somebody says more clarity at the top for you to just play that out more, but you're doing it the right way around where you're taking away other things. So that's good. Can we go from the F? I don't know. feel like it has started before you even play the chord. You need to get there, just get it all part of one gesture instead of like lots of separate things. Sometimes you just have to work out a way of making your gestures stronger, not by playing them louder, but by working on what happens before that arrival point. It's all about that. It's all about calculating like what to do. Like if you have an arrival point, you want to actually sweep towards it in order to make it more. And the more deliberate you are about it's all taking away from that, like the moment, the great moment. Whereas if you sort of connect everything together, then it's so much more powerful, I think. Okay, let's go on from where you left off. It's really strong, like. But in the last three, at least, the last four, you need to have a feeling that that's like the last one is it's getting more and more intense. Maybe it begins very in a proud kind of way, but then it just starts to get like really intense in the last few, so that you can feel the difference by the time you get to the last one. Can we try? And in order for you to do legato, you can't keep lifting your dum, da-dum, da-dum, dum, because it just doesn't, it's not possible. And I know it's incredibly difficult to do that legato, but at the very least, we should be trying to keep it smoother than a pure march. It's sort of, orchestrally, this would be so easy, this passage, where you just have some bass instruments going yo, and then you have a long instrument going bom, ba, ba, da, 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 da. But on the piano, unfortunately, we have to do like the whole orchestra together, and it's a bit of a dilemma because your right hand has to be able to repeat notes without it sounding too jumpy. Bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, bum. We want it like a little bit longer on everything. And even if you just do that much, even if you just make all of the notes longer and smoother, it's going to give that impression, that illusion that it's very legato and very smooth. So you need the contrast of some type between. Separate, they both need to have their separate characters. So just try to work this out. I think we mentioned it like a few weeks ago, and we haven't mentioned it since, because I think it has the right energy and everything, and we need to bring it up again anyway. And bring that up. But so what is there to say about all of this? You need to generally think whenever you have a scale or a group of notes arriving at a big chord, that you need to start less so that you make more of the sweep. Whenever you get to the particularly like thicker areas in the texture, you want to make sure that you always have clarity at the top. And you want to make sure you don't lose the shape whenever you're playing at full volume. You always should still maintain a shape, even if it's fortissimo. That it always has direction and it always has contour, and then we can hear that, so it doesn't become just like ah. And then in this passage, like we can work that up so that it's more legato and in the right hand, or at least if it's not purely legato, that it's longer and less attack at the beginning of each note.